I'm super tired, don't feel like doing this, which means I'm on the right track. Napster, remember that? That's how old this computer is. Hasn't been hooked up to the internet since then. Prowler in the yard, pig destroyer. Okay. Good little music for the occasion.
Wrestled her friend playfully to the ground in front of the snow pony stand and began looking at the girl's eyeballs as if they were sugar cubes. Their bodies convulsed and flailed with an almost seizure-like intensity. At times, their limbs seeming to shift back and forth.
Now, once again, this image was created just with Archimedes spirals, interference patterns of Archimedes spirals. Interference patterns of Archimedes spirals, that's it. One of the simplest objects in the world.
But no one dared interfere with the performance.
And the structure is, well, it's undeniable. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Undeniable.
No one had any idea that the girl's eyes were holding under her milky tongue. This is disgusting. It's pornography. Explain a pasty slut like woman with fur coats. Realize smear a glass hood shaped like a bloody shot.
I talked about, like a video or so ago, I talked about how a video was, prophesized. And I've said before, it's like a heavily... It's a heavily weighted word. It's a heavily weighted word. Prophecy. Clairvoyance. Intuition. Insight. In some sense, if witches can see the flow through time, then prophets, it's more direct. And yeah, in the past I've talked about teleurgy. Well, there's teleology. I've spoken of teleurgy, which I think was a mispronunciation of teriurgy. Though pronouncing it as teleurgy incorporates the omega, which is related to lightning, step leaders, streamers. I didn't even know till today that there's such a thing as positive and negative lightning. That there's cloud to cloud lightning, there's cloud to ground lightning, there's ground to cloud lightning, there's I forget what they're called, red something, these crazy things between different parts of the atmosphere. I forget what they're called, red something. But in lightning you have these step leaders, where it's lightning searching, and there's all these leaders going off in these neural networks. But there's only one path that hits the ground, whether positive or negative. Today I learned the distinction. I forget the name of the channel. Awesome dudes, never seen it before. It's a shit we all should know. But that when lightning is a little bit lower and flat and flickers, it's a negative charge. And when it's a bit smoother and goes higher and doesn't flicker, it's a positive charge. Which also brings up the important point that we're all in this AC/DC deal. For those about to rock. But Where's all the science on static electricity, you know? And all that positive, negative, sideways stuff. Got this card at the Sherwin-Williams when I was picking up some corking. All right. Wait, you like this dude? Okay then. Well, yeah, I hear you. We'll get the pink. We got the pink. So we're back to the tetrahedron. I have another 42 minutes. I hope I can do it. So I definitely want to get to this. Couple things. So this is the circle I referenced in the last video, or in one of my last videos. This is the larger circle. Very close. Very close in size. They are, well, before I get there, wait. They're the difference in these two circles. This radius and this radius. That's the difference more or less in these circles, despite my, I wouldn't even call it accumulated error, it's more like instantaneous error. And I have a lot of that. So as far as the tetrahedron shape is concerned, this one does not pass no matter what direction you put it at. But this one does. And it just touches where the radius is. So it touches right about here, so that's where the... I guess it's not even a diameter. What is it? Like a plane, a hemispheric plane. But it touches all the way around. So it's an interesting way of studying, because it's hard to make a globe. It's hard to make a globe to study geometry. It's hard to make a globe to study geometry, a globe. It's easier these days with mold making, 3D printing, all that kind of stuff. With my means, it's less easy, but I can still do it, and I will. But I should also remark how remarkable cardboard, plastic, paper, all this junk, all this trash, all this garbage I have around me, every single bit of it, just about, 99% of the junk I have around me. I mean, this is natural, and infinitely more, it's not weed, it's wild carrot, but you know, it's infinitely more technological, because it's more mathematical, it's more structural, it's more elastic, it's more stiff, it's, you know, it's life, it's alive, or it was. And like, but we discount all this other quote-unquote I mean, I've said it before, paper, man. I worked in a paper mill, so I'm a little prejudiced, but the multi-million-dollar machines that make paper, it's unbelievable. Never mind, like, kind of the horror of working in a paper mill. My dad worked in a paper mill for years. He was a millwright, mechanic, became an electrician, then he was a millwright / electrician, second shift, third shift, all that shit. Brutal, man. A paper factory's like, it's like working in the fucking intestines of a dragon. It's bigger than a dragon, and just to smell it. It's alive. Working in a paper mill is like working inside of a living biological system. And it can't stop. It has to keep going. And when shit goes wrong, all these fucking alarms go off. Woo, woo, woo. When the paper breaks, shit goes haywire, you know? But anyway. Yeah, cardboard, man. So thank you. Thank you, paper makers. Thank you, cardboard makers. Thank you, tree pulpers and porno mag recyclers. Thank you for my cardboard, which gives me insights into reason, into the simplest object in the world. Speaking of which, while I was setting up this video, I came across this image, which I'd say it's about 90%, 90+% accurate. Probably like 20% precise, and maybe like 80% logical. I only say 80 because the appearance of a 2 root 2 over 3 or 3 root 2 over 4 is problematic. But the points are important. But this is essentially some freehand geological information describing a tetrahedron in a sphere. And even this, to me, and I'm sorry, it's to me, it's the simplest object in the world. The two simplest objects in the world interacting. Completely confounding. So then there's all this shit about calculus, all this, that, yeah. You know, Leibniz and fucking Newton and plus Hobbes. Hobbes we think of as Leviathan, but Hobbes was involved with all this stuff. Then Cavalieri and I forget the other dude, but anyway, even this image to me, which I'm sorry, not because I made it, but because it is. Like, I'm so embarrassed to say it, but like, I find this image incredibly beautiful. There, I said it. So what? Alright. Okay, so before I go further with this, and I mean to get further, it's like a hi-hat. Alright. Let's get some action on the situation. Sick of the dog fucking barking. God damn it. Loud motherfucker. Meow. Usually what I do. Alright, I'll do it now. because I'm lazy. Well, when I do it, I'm lazy, but now I'm taking initiative. It's funny how what you do in one context is laziness, and in another is initiative. But all right. So when I'm going to lay down to the bed, I come over here and I make sure I can see my little green light in the mirror, and then I put my little thing there. Wham! That's some high-tech laser NASA shit. And I don't know how this works. I mean to figure it out. The best way is if I could see it, if I could think fast enough, and if I could see other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum, then I'd see this thing glowing. Tinka, 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 tinka. Like that. That's what I'd see when I looked at this. I'd see through it with my X-ray vision. And I'd see all those electronics. Tinkle, 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 tinkle. And then when I press that button, it would be like a laser. And I'd see it. Alright, I gotta turn this down a little bit. More than one way to turn it down. Alright, another thing I wanted to say really quick. Well, I had the props out because of what I was making. Just make sure I don't turn shit off here, because I tend to do that. Oop, no, don't want to do that. Oop. Am I still going? I'm still going. Am I where I need to be? That's my props. Alright, Schrodinger's cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm doing this. But gotta drive it home until it ain't a thing no more. We're out to kill an idea. But the idea? We're out to kill an idea. And the idea we're out to kill is a group of ideas. It's a set of ideas. It's a series of ideas. Once again, this is an image created by interference patterns from one single image of an Archimedes spiral. And it's pretty rich with structure. Because shit lines up. Shit's lining up today. I didn't say it before, but like, where I said the other day, sounds fucked up, but it's true. The other day was prophesized, clairvoyicized. We're going to use the word clairvoyicized from now on. The other day was clairvoyicized by 8 years. Plus. But 8 years. Today was clairvoyicized 15 years ago. In writing in action. Schrodinger's cat.
You've managed to totally undermine the entire foundation upon which our legal system is built. By the way, it only took me 2 wrong answers. Sweetie, you customized my ring? Again?
You are never gonna believe my news.
What?
Got the parrot.
You made 2 rings and went
Got the pirate.
down there right on the Enfield.
Enfield.
That'll be good. Shiver me timbers.
The restaurant has a bit of an unfortunate name drop problem. Anyway, he took the nod in my last room, so then he pulled the strings of the site manager
Alright,
and
alright,
buried it that way.
I mean, are you sure this is what you
Schrodinger's
want?
cat.
I can get married anywhere. That's a lie. I'm getting
Put a
married.
cat in a box. You don't know if it's live or dead.
And it's just 3 months and 4 days. Oh, and there was just so much to talk about. I want everybody to know this so I can be here.
Am I alive or dead?
Oh my god, I almost forgot.
Am I alive or dead?
A biological birth parent search.
We don't.
For my Chihuahua American Rooster wife. I found him at the end of years ago.
Am I alive or dead?
Look, miss, I've heard this people, so I've investigated. Integrated hospital.
Until you open the box, you don't know if the cat's alive or dead.
A little more difficult.
Pretty sure the cat knows.
May I ask
Eh?
Oh, of course. Martha Stewart Weddings recommends a
My understanding is that Schrodinger made that example
I can't send the invitation without an address. And the sooner I get started on all that calligraphy,
to
really,
show
the
how
better.
stupid the idea was.
to your wedding? You tell us more.
And if that wasn't his intention,
Detective, if I have to make room for my
That's
second cousin's
his
second
unintended
diet, you better believe I'm
consequence.
gonna make room for the mother of the one living creature
Because
who's
that's
always
stupid.
there for me.
a cat knows if it's
I
alive
can't believe I haven't
or
done it
dead.
sooner.
You know if you're alive or dead. Stop the nonsense. Right? Well, it depends on what kind of nonsense.
Oh,
The Schrodinger equation is the step leader of the light. There's the leaders, there's the cloud to cloud lightning, cloud to ground lightning, positive or negative. The ground to cloud lightning, I guess usually positive. But that little step leader is that whole like quantum entanglement deal. But it's another thing, like, what if all that quantum shit, or what we call instantaneousness, is just below the threshold of our capability of measurement? What if everything really is classical? And what we call quantum, because of the statistical analysis, who created statistics, who created probability,
This happy without accruing credit card debt.
more or less Pascal. What did he say about that shit?
Get the weird ones you crack. You ready?
I'm saying, I'm not a snob. I don't know a lot of shit. It might sound like I do to someone who doesn't have any references, and the references I have are mostly fifth columnists. But I did read Ponce. It took me years, because every sentence was like, boom, bang, pow, ow.
As your adopted mother, I'm sure you're feeling nervous about the
Kind of hurt, actually. But,
Like everybody, I'm sure she will.
so we gotta listen to him. I said it before, I'll say it again.
Top secret Versace think tank. I told you they had
To my mind, he ascribes cyclicity to randomity, which is to say, discovering, you know, once you take random things and ascribe them cyclicity, you're one step closer to discerning the oscillational resolution of the system that people call random. People call chaos, and it's the butterfly effect. But it's just, chaos is shit we don't understand. Random is shit we don't understand. We're letting the cat out of the bag. We're letting the cat out of the box. We're freeing Pavlov's dog to speak out of all three mouths. That's it. Forgive my theatrics. Pig destroyer. That's not all, folks. All right. Do I have time? I gotta be careful so I don't turn off my phone when I do this. Come on, Jeff. You can do it. Yes.
And what kind of facility is this?
All right. So when we're looking at, okay, there we go. When we're looking at this object, okay, so this is the circumference of the sphere. Where's my beer? Circumference of the sphere. Oh, I spilled it. Oh well. The show must go on.
Fantastic. Our law firm represents St. Manatee. We can just tell them to fix this.
All right.
Presenting Bruiser Wood, Chihuahua. Who am I? Where do I come from?
When we're looking at, all right, I got a little bit of time left. When we're looking at, okay, so this is the same size
Making his way down the boulevard of growth and dreams.
as these planes, which are not great circle planes, right?
Found a loving mother.
That make up this tetrahedron. All of this fits inside of a sphere. My initial intuition before I ever started really trying to cut this shit up was that the diameter of the sphere was the same size as this diameter. But it's not. As we can see when we try to fit this over. It doesn't work. Ain't nothing you can do. It's never gonna happen. Which is
What were you trying for? Science?
Yes, but is he doing the right thing and everybody said
this inner diameter. But just that little bit bigger. Oh shit. It's hard to do it with one hand holding the phone. I didn't think enough ahead, alright? Well, anyway, I showed it before. Okay, wait. But this is the bigger circle.
We're just doing our job?
More or less. It's a small enough object and the diameter's small enough. But anyway, this will fit all the way through. But I got the size pretty good because it does get stuck a little, which means it describes the diameter at least a little. It's also interesting, just as a side note, that these look a bit like arrow flutes, and a tetrahedron is a bit like an arrow tip. Certainly triangles are. So it's like the chalice and the blade in one object, without having... So this is like the chalice and the blade in one object without having to have the three-dimensional form of the Star of David, which this object also represents. This object represents, even though it's a different part of the structure, but not really. I just haven't expanded it enough. But this is another form of the chalice and the blade, where it's just a tetrahedron. So that's pretty interesting. What is it? Threshing? Threshing, which has to do with a feather, which has to do with a quill. I'm not going to get into that now, am I?
Wow, it's even got the Red Sox colors. That's fantastic, honey.
Speaking of red socks, you're not getting full feet, are you?
No.
Well, how's it gonna look? A Harvard law professor married to a lawyer got fired from a good job.
Fired for something she believes in.
Quill.
Look like
Well, there's the movie Quill, that's another story,
the
but
luckiest guy
a quill,
in the world.
a feather pen, Jefferson's silver pen that he used to scribe the Declaration of Independence, Declaration of Independence, and he also used to raise geese, G-O-O, the other famous quill of that time, and in the famous prints of him penning the Declaration of Independence, they didn't show the silver pen, they showed a feather. He rose geese, G-O-O. Turkey feathers were the other important famous quill of that time and from long before. Turkeys gained their name from guinea fowls, which the Turks marketed in, who are from Turkey. There were Turkish folks who sold guinea fowls, G-U, geese, goose, G-O-O, goo, goo. Anyway. What we see when we look at these images of the tetrahedron, here's a good example. I'll try to do it with one hand. It's going to be fucking just about impossible, but I'm going to try. So here we have this image, right? This is the tetrahedron inside a sphere. It also, you might notice, resembles, am I still going? How much time I got? Alright, okay, I got some time. It also looks, am I still going? Fuck. Yeah, I'm still going. It also, if you look at this image, looks a heck of a lot like some of the peculiar triangles that they have in some of the old Coptic stuff. Coptic 60, but not really a base 60 system because it's based in it's a base 6. It's a 6 and 10. Like something funny's going on there. Like it's not a base 60 system. It's a combination of a base 6 and a base 10 system. That couldn't be more fucking important. I've already described it. I've already made examples of it incorrectly, and in the discussions of those examples, I've described it exactly what's happening. But anyway, not to say, and it's not me. It's not me. I don't mean it like I said. I mean like, well, I did say. That's what I mean in a civil sense. And I mean like those who have come before us, like, have laid this fucking groundwork, you know? I've come upon it, and I hate that I'm the way that I am, that I say everything like this. But that's the step leader, man. So anyway, it's super interesting that a lot of the tetrahedron pictures look like some of the triangles inside the circles. Another interesting thing before I go too far with that is it this one? There's one of the ones where the spread angles equal. It's just another case where once you get into the tetrahedron, you start coming up with weird numbers, man. Like, I don't like numbers above... I don't like numbers above 6. Because I haven't figured out 7 yet. But, anyway. And I know 16 and 81, incredibly small numbers to real mathematicians. Yet, but then you can also go down. And it's like, you gotta figure that shit out. You know, and the shit you can do with your fingers and toes, man. That's where it all is, you know. Like this one a lot too. We come into envy. Different types of envy. Put it in a tetrahedron. Alright. It's better than a polarity and it's better than a cross. Okay. Apparent numbers. This comes from an old video I had. It was a song, anyway. This is totally separate, but yeah, triple fractions. I've talked about it before, but triple fractions and the way those break down depending on where you put your parentheses. Anyway. Fuck. Never mind. Is this it? No. Anyway, there's one view of the tetrahedron where like the spread angles correspond to the lengths. God damn it, where the fuck is it?
I'm just excited since Gucci became a publicly traded company.
Oh my god, it's Capital Barbie.
Where is it?
It's so shiny.
Okay, so where should I start?
Excuse me, sweetie. The intern orientation is
Son
down
of
the
a
hall.
bitch.
In room 216, that's before 217 and after 215.
Oh my god, that is so sweet of you. You think I'm an intern? I guess that anti-wrinkle all-salmon diet really works.
Who are you?
Well, I'm sorry.
Maybe it is this one.
Well,
Oh.
Yeah, because you have 8/9,
Oh,
you have 8/9 spread angles.
this is Al Woods, everyone.
Oh no, that's an 8/9. Oh yeah, 1/9 spread angle.
So,
1/9 spread angle.
you ready to hit the ground running? RD is not my comfortable.
1/9 length.
They are
8/9 spread angle. There must be an 8/9 length. Where the fuck is it?
well
8/9 length. So this is a super interesting, and I didn't draw the triangle very well.
This is the most collaborative bunch on the hill, so gather them together, talk strategy as soon as you get
All right.
there. Al,
How does it go?
Thank you. Okay, well, I missed the part about where my office is.
the desk. Right here.
Alrighty, well, then I'm gonna need a glue gun, some pinking shears, and 5 yards of programming.
Okay, so this version of the triangle.
Well, look at you. You can run your wedding coordinator business during all that legislative downtime.
Alright, yeah, so that triangle and the sphere, super important. Super important. That image, you see that shit anywhere, pay attention. You see that shape, you see that image anywhere, pay the fuck attention. That's a tetrahedron in a sphere. It doesn't look like it because of its orientation. It looks all fucked up. Most people, including me, if you showed me just this, never mind all the rest of it, if you showed me just this triangle and just this circle and told me that was a tetrahedron in a sphere, I'd be like, fuck you. That ain't no tetrahedron in a sphere. That's fucking bullshit. You're fucking with me. Fuck you, never want to see you again. That's what I would have said. That's probably what I'd still say today, because I'm like that. Sometimes. But, anyway, to make a long story long, yeah, that one's super important. Super important. And I'm super glad I made this video, if only that I finally traced out this, because when I look back on it, when I made it, I got into it, right? So I took all these numbers and I took numbers, days and days and days and days. And I'm only saying this because that might be what it takes you. And I'm only telling me because now this one's a little bit different because it's apparent. This isn't the actual shape of a cross section. It's the apparent projection onto a plane of a collapsed cross section. So here I have a lot of apparent angles and actual angles. So that's something like totally different, but still like legit, right? But anyway, by the time, and when I made all this stuff, when I got back to here, I was always going to go back and put my numbers in, but I never did. Because by the time I got here, I knew it. It was like in my mind at that point, and it took I don't know how many days. I didn't date all my pages, but like basically I do about a page a day. It's 17 pages, just about 17 pages, more than that really. But anyway, it took me about a month to do it. But by the time I got here, halfway through the month of doing it every day when I came home and thinking about it all day at work, and I was at a tough job, and like the stress, this side of my head was just fucking burning, man. Like I wasn't barely sleeping, I wasn't drinking at the time, I wasn't puffing, I was still smoking, drinking lots of fucking coffee. I don't recommend any of it, but anyway, it's what I did. But anyway, simplest object in the world. This is what it takes to understand the simplest object, the commonly referred to simplest object in the world. But anyway, by the time I got here, I could see it. I wouldn't say I could see it all in my mind, but as I did the geometry, the math was there. Like, because I'd familiarized with myself every day for 2 weeks, plus thinking about it at work in my free time. So I was putting about maybe 2 hours of actual drawing with probably 2 hours worth of thinking within there, plus thinking about it all day, every day. Because if I thought about anything else, I just wanted to kill myself. I remember I dropped a big board on my toe the first day of this job, which is pretty much the same day I started this thing. And like, I walked around for months and months and months, actually almost a year with a limp because of that. Also because of that, I now have what I've only just recently, within like the last week, realized I'm developing a corn, or something like a corn, on the other side of my foot, because I was favoring the other side of my foot because I couldn't step down on my big toe, because if I did, it was excruciating pain, because I dropped a board on it, because I was painting it like on a ladder and the board fell down like a guillotine. It was awful. I fucking hated it. It totally sucked. I was so pissed. I was pissed at everybody in the world because I dropped the board on my foot. Whew.
Grace Rossiter, Chief of Staff, Representative Rudd, Massachusetts. As our newest legislative assistant will soon be spearheading a campaign under your committee, I'm sure she'd love the floor.
Eventually all that stuff built up in my mind. So it's like, at the time, I didn't need the numbers because I knew my logic and my geometry was tight. And I know it's tight now, having gone back over the numbers. And as I started diving back into the numbers, I was like, wait, that's not right. Wait, that's not right. And I had to rework it out. And I was like, oh yeah, it's right. Oh yeah, it's right. Oh yeah, it's right. Though there was one page when I was doing it that wasn't right. And I remember I had to correct it like 2 days later. And what led me to correcting it was because there were a couple nails. There were a couple nails on like the 7th stair tread down into a basement that weren't quite right. And that triggered like this chain reaction in my mind that was like, I think that particular drawing is wrong. That's how shit works. Don't believe me?
Perfect for animal testing, right? Oh, and I want to let everybody know that I'm having a post-hopper topic.
Okay, maybe it's not the way shit works, but the only way it doesn't work that way is if you understand something better, and if you don't at least understand what I'm talking about. I'm sorry I'm being like this. It's connected. And I'm a Thomas the Doubter figure. And I preach to Thomas the Doubter folk. If you don't believe in that scripturally, you gotta believe in it fucking metaphorically. You gotta believe in it Jungianly. Onion? You gotta believe in it onionly. Anyway, yeah, this picture right here I got wrong. You can still see the faint outline of where I drew this sphere wrong, which might look like, why are you drawing spheres? But the whole idea was, well, this is a tetrahedron in a sphere, and I was trying to figure out how to pack a sphere inside the tetrahedron, and, 4 spheres outside the tetrahedron, though you only see 3 of them in this image because of its collapsedness, but, that are the same size, and kissing spheres, and like trying to figure out where the spheres kiss each other, and where those spheres kiss, like this point right here represents where this sphere kisses the sphere, not just the circle, because the circle is meant to represent a sphere. Blah blah blah. It's hard thinking about fucking tetrahedrons in a sphere, man. Simplest objects. I'm sorry I'm being like, but
Whatever that means.
it's fucking important.
Because of everything going
And I don't know why.
past the law.
It just is.
Have to work up some sort of plan of attack committee.
Start studying tetrahedron and see what happens in your life. I wouldn't say I dare you because I'd rather have compassion for you.
Committee of Energy
And I'm sorry for what will happen to you. And I'm sorry for the trials you go through if you start studying a tetrahedron and you never have before and you take it seriously. I'm sorry. I am sorry because I'm still going through it and it sucks. And I just hope we get through the other end of it all together. Sounds fucked up, but I'm fucking telling you. Heraclitus, man. But, alright, do I got any time left? I got 2 minutes. Let's make it count. Let's make it count, Jeff. Not even 2 minutes, alright. So like this image right here.
Maybe you could just talk and save yourself.
Notice these lines right here.
Don't you have something to emphasize?
When you put, so this is the diameter. This is the diameter, right?
Better to write this bill than read it. Me? It's like I always say. Why let someone else do for you what you can do for yourself? Except when they can spy your man.
That's what this is.
Protocol. It's worked for the past 200 years, okay, Miss Snapka?
So this image is more or less the shape of this tetrahedron in a sphere. I don't know, can you see it? It fits. It's hard to do with one hand. Otherwise I'd lift this up and like encircle the thing better, but this image is this image, more or less. I'm just trying to illustrate.
It's Congressman Howard. He needs a political makeover.
And that realization is very, very hard to come to, even as you're studying the simplest object in the world.
Something more than fuzzy. I use something like
There are masters among us,
do the trick.
and so far as I can tell, I'm not saying this 100%, but so far as I can tell, what they appreciate more than, I mean, they appreciate everything because they're pretty nice people, but they can be mean ass motherfuckers. Mostly they're mean to our meanness. But
Of all major political and social scandals for the past 30 years.
if you're doing something primitive, low tech,